take place in this summit. Lord, we surrender this summit unto you and we pray that you will come and have preeminence. For it's in Jesus' name we do believe and pray.
Amen.
All protocols observed. Good morning. Let's pray. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. You may now be seated.
While you're seating, we'd like to draw your attention to the screens for our official welcoming video.
Against platforms they don't control, with policies that weren't built for them. For 15 years, edition by edition, Connected Africa became more than a summit. Where policy, innovation, scale, and partnership meet. Where startups met investors and scaled across borders. Now we arrive at a defining moment. Connected Africa Summit 2026. Uniting Africa's innovation for an inclusive digital market. Not just a slogan, a statement of intent. Because innovation without inclusion is incomplete. And growth without unity is unsustainable. For policymakers designing frameworks for 1 billion Africans. For startups ready to scale beyond their borders. For investors hunting Africa's next breakthrough. For anyone who believes Africa's digital future should be shaped by Africans. This isn't networking. This is nation building. One connection at a time. Connected Africa Summit 2026. Nairobi, at the Edge Convention. Welcome.
I believe at this point we could have a round of applause for that stage setting. Absolutely, and that's just setting the tone for what's going to be the discussion for the next 4 days, as you had earlier said.
Absolutely. You want to go ahead and do the introduction?
As we come to this particular point, of course, as we speak about it, we're now moving to our welcome remarks, where we'll hear from key leaders shaping Africa's digital transformation agenda.
Absolutely. And at this point, would like to invite the CEO of the ICT Authority of Kenya, Mr. Jesse Maruti, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
A round of applause for our CEO as he comes on stage.
Principal Secretary, State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, the Board of Directors of ICT Authority, ambassadors present, high commissioners present, excellencies present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to see you this morning and I welcome you here. It's a great honor on behalf of the government of Kenya and the ICT Authority to welcome you to Nairobi for the Connected Africa Summit 2026. We are really deeply privileged by your presence, a clear demonstration of Africa's collective commitment to advancing our continent's digital transformation agenda. This year's theme, Uniting Africa, Innovation for an Inclusive Digital Market, speaks directly to our shared priority. The need to align our national efforts towards a cohesive and a competitive continental digital ecosystem. Africa stands at a pivotal moment. The global digital economy is evolving rapidly, and with it, the dynamics of competitiveness, sovereignty, and economic resilience. For Africa, this presents both an opportunity and a responsibility. An opportunity to harness our demographic strength, innovation capacity, and expanding connectivity to drive inclusive growth. and the responsibility to act collectively with clarity, coordination, and a purpose. 3 priorities stand before us. The first one, advancing continental integrations, strengthening interoperability, harmonizing policy and regulatory frameworks, and enabling seamless cross-border digital services in alignment with continental aspirations. Secondly, enabling Africa-led innovations, creating an environment where our enterprises can scale, supported by strategic infrastructure, forward-looking policy, and trusted partnerships. Thirdly, ensuring inclusive participations, expanding access, building digital capabilities, and ensuring that the benefits of digital economy reach all our citizens. At the ICT Authority, we remained committed to supporting this vision through secure, interoperable, and resilient digital systems, because without interoperability, we risk fragmentations, and without trust, transformation cannot endure. This summit provides an important platform not only for dialogue, but for strengthening partnerships and advancing implementations. The choices we make today will shape Africa's digital future for generations to come. Let us therefore move forward with unity, with resolve, and with shared commitment to building an inclusive digital market for our continent. I thank you and I wish you a successful summit. Karibu sana Kenya, feel at home. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome the Chair of the Board of ICT Authority, Honorable Lee Gong. Welcome, Madam. Thank you.
Honorable CS in absentia with other ministers from different parts of Africa, honorable ambassadors who are here with us, honorable PS who has joined us, men and women from this industry and from private sector, our delegates from representing different ministries, ICTA Board of Directors who are here with us, and all ICTA staff who've worked to make this day a success, and the ministry at large. Allow me to say good morning. Good morning. How are you? I just want to take this opportunity. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the Connected African Summit 2026. This year's summit comes at a defining moment when our continent is experiencing steady growth in technological advancement, in adoption, utilization, and entrepreneurship and investment. Notable technological advancement which are shaping Africa's digital landscape in 2026, marking a shift from being primarily a tech consumer to becoming an innovation powerhouse, just to name a few from coast to coast. In Ghana, MTN and Huawei deployment of Alpha Antenna, which is the world's first large-scale intelligent system, which uses AI for real-time network optimization, increasing operational efficiency by 30. In Kenya, Safaricom unveiling Decode 5.0, a continental initiative connecting 8 countries through a shared interoperable AI infrastructure. Distinguished guests, investing in Africa's digital infrastructure, digital services, innovation, and research and development is essential to leapfrog traditional development, fostering a unified digital market, economic resilience, prioritizing public-private partnership, cloud-first policies, and AI skills for youth will close the digital divide and drive sustainable growth across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's summit theme, Uniting Africa's Innovation for an Inclusive Digital Market, which calls on all of us to move Africa technological investment beyond national boundaries for the continent to compete in the global digital economy and realize its full potential of a single digital market by harmonizing regulation and infrastructure. Africa can transition from 54 fragmental economies into a unified powerhouse. Why connected Africa and why now? Africa has the rapidly expanding demographic, homegrown solutions, and the market potential. What is required now is greater coordination to eradicate barriers, expand opportunities and market share, and enable seamless movement of digital services, trade, and innovation across borders. We therefore gather here today with a clear responsibility to create a continent enabling environment where innovation can grow, investment can thrive, and citizens can benefit. 3 priorities deserving our attention include: 1, strengthening digital infrastructure and connectivity, supporting innovation and enterprise growth, and building practical partnership and collaborations. Over the next few days, we have an opportunity to exchange ideas, to connect with participants, and agree on practical steps that will strengthen Africa's digital future. I thank all our partners, all our speakers who are going to coordinate this, all our delegates and organizers for making this summit possible. Your presence reflects a shared belief in what Africa can achieve together. On behalf of ICT Authority Board, I warmly welcome you and wish you a fruitful discussion, enjoyable and memorable stay at Nairobi, and a successful summit. Allow me to say, karibuni sana Kenya. To our guests from outside Kenya, feel free, feel welcome, and feel at home. Karibuni sana, we love you so much. Allow me to take this juncture with a lot of humility to welcome our peers to address us. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellencies, the ministers, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors who are here, the Chair of the Board of ICT Authority, Honorable Lily Ngok, the board members of ICT Authority here, our guests and visitors and delegates of the Connected Africa Summit 2026, from over 47 countries, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It's a great and special day for us to be here this morning. This is our 15th Connected series and the 3rd Connected Africa Summit. To put in perspective, The official opening of this Connected Africa Summit 2026 will be tomorrow morning, where we'll have some of our VIPs and delegations from across the continent will be here. Today, we are here to welcome you to this important event, and we are very excited to see all of you. Karibuni, Nairobi. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the Age Convention Center for the Connected Africa Summit 2026. We are deeply honored to host you, this distinguished gathering of leaders, policymakers, innovators, development partners from across Africa and even beyond. I'm very glad to see some of our friends from across the globe, including ambassadors, technology companies, and the Friends of Kenya. Your presence here today reflects a shared urgent understanding. As digital transformation accelerates globally, Africa stands at a very critical inflection point. The decisions we make today and over this period of Connected Africa Summit will determine our continent's position in the future global digital economy. We gather at a defining moment across Africa. Innovation is driving governments. Innovation is thriving. Governments are digitizing public services. Startups are commanding global investment, and the demand for high-speed connectivity is growing each day. Recent research by McKinsey confirms this extraordinary potential, revealing that at the scale of deployment of generative AI alone, it could unlock between $61 billion and also $103 billion in additional economic value annually across the continent. This momentum is supported by the physical reality of our infrastructure, the aspiration of a deeply connected African continent. It's not just a promise, but it is an emerging reality. It is an installed high-capacity reality, extensive undersea network cables touching our various ports from East Coast, West Coast, Southern Coast, and along the northern part of our continent. Inland, we have made significant progress in expanding terrestrial infrastructure through collaborative efforts across our partner states. We are driving digital transformation via national backbone infrastructure initiatives, such as the National Backbone Infrastructure in Uganda, Rwanda's National Fiber Optic Backbone, South Sudan National Fiber Backbone, and Kenya's own digital superhighway. However, we must be candid. Despite these massive strides, there are still communities where fiber has not reached. There are still regions where connectivity remains unreliable, and citizens who remain digitally excluded. We also have witnessed moments where some infrastructure damage caused some regions to be in digital darkness. This is why some of the projects like Northern Corridor Infrastructure Project, with initiatives such as the Regional Broadcast Communication Satellite Communication Program, are vital. And also the other projects we are having, like the African Horn of Africa Gateway Program, touching on Kenya, Somali, Djibouti, and opening connectivity to the Kenya, East Africa, at the Red Sea through Djibouti, through Somali, and even through Sudan. These are some of the initiatives that we are very proud of as a continent. We've also had a project of East African Trade Facilitation Program that has seen laying of fiber through Kenya, through Eldoret, to the border of Kenya and southern Sudan. And we see possibilities of extending that all the way to the West Coast. At the same time, we have fiber connectivity to our neighbors through Uganda all the way to South Africa. So we ask, why Connected Africa and why now? Because the next chapter of Africa's growth will depend entirely on our ability to move from isolated success stories into a single cohesive continental ecosystem. We have the opportunity to unleash a truly unified market of over 1.4 billion people, a borderless ecosystem where data, services, digital currencies flow as seamless as electricity across our borders. However, as we frame our discussions over the next few days, we must acknowledge a fundamental truth. Connectivity alone is not enough. For our digital ecosystem to truly thrive, they must be secure, inclusive, and built on trusted systems that protect our citizens and our institutions and our economies, and also reflects our interest of sovereignties as nations. Trust and cybersecurity are the absolute foundations upon which all our digital progress depends. We must adopt a philosophy of resilience by design, guaranteeing systemic baseline defenses embedded into our foundational architecture rather than relying on reactive security patching. As we build our digital public infrastructure and expand our data economies, we must establish strong governance frameworks that guarantee our digital sovereignty. These rest on three critical pillars. One, deploying sovereign digital public infrastructure. Secondly, enacting unified data governance frameworks and ensuring that critical infrastructure and computational power are hosted within the continent. We must ensure that our data is protected, that value is retained locally, and that systems remain sovereign, accountable, and resilient. The momentum is already with us. The African Free Trade Area Digital Trade Protocol presents unprecedented opportunity to unlock across our border commerce, simplifying market access, accelerate regional trade, and some of the key sectors like telecommunication, banking, public sector are some of the emerging front runners, proving that Africa is strongly positioned to lead in the digital age. To maximize this momentum, we must put our people at the core of this transformation. Africa possesses the world's youngest workforce, with over 60% of our population under the age of 25. We must build a future-ready workforce, foster localized innovation, guaranteeing inclusion so that no demographic section of our population is left behind. This summit thus provides us with a platform to exchange ideas and apply the integration framework, aligning our policies through coordinated legislative action, building collaborative partnership, learning from other regions, and providing opportunities between public and private actors, and also committing to a unified execution in our various countries. We must ensure that by the end of this gathering, we are not just aligned in vision, but have a clear, timely actions. Kenya remains steadfast in its commitment to work with all African nations and global partners to ensure that we build a connected Africa that is resilient, sovereign, and globally competitive. Once again, I welcome all of you to Nairobi. I wish you a very highly productive and successful summit. And we believe this platform will provide you a launchpad to the continent, a platform to connect with the rest of the continent, and also a platform to learn from each other as we engage. With those remarks, thank you very much, and God bless you. Welcome, Karibu.
A round of applause for our PS as he makes his way down. Fantastic speech, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And of course, when you speak about why Connected Africa Summit and why now, the answer is that Africa is best positioned to move forward. And even at this particular point, a hotbed of talent when it comes to tech talent.
I couldn't agree more.
The money is looking for where the talent is. The talent is here. The innovation is here. and this is the time and indeed the space as well.
Absolutely. I remember when I was watching last year's, they were talking about data. We all have data, but it is stuck in different silos. Today, he's talking about ensuring that our data is protected and systems remain sovereign. That means we've somehow crashed down and stopped the silos. So we're able to access each other's data and we can work even better.
And the beauty about it is as we look at innovation, which will be a very key policy and what we'll be talking about as far as we move in these conversations, innovation, legislation really go hand in hand.
Absolutely,
so when we have the ministry here to speak to these particular issues, we know definitely in the right space to make sure the legislation isn't strangling the innovation as we move forward as a continent. And as we talk about that, we'd also like to acknowledge and extend our sincere appreciation to that particular policy driver and policy maker, the Ministry of Information Communications and the Digital Economy Kenya, for convening this summit and making sure we advance Africa's digital transformation agenda.
Absolutely. We also have to recognize and appreciate all our sponsors, all our partners and exhibitors who are currently present, because your support and collaboration is what has made this absolutely possible.
Actually, in particular, we'd also like to extend our gratitude to Safaricom, our title sponsor, for their continued support and commitment in driving innovation, connectivity, and across this particular continent, a lot of impact.
Absolutely. Now, for this day, we actually appreciate your partnership because it has been instrumental in building and bringing together not just ideas, but investments, solutions that will shape Africa's digital future.
Now, as our PS said, this is our welcome for the day. For the next 4 days, a lot will be going on, but already there's so much happening. We'll give you a quick lay of the land.
Yes.
On what has already started and will be taking place across the day
Absolutely.
today. As we convene here in the ballroom, a lot will be taking place here, but several exciting activities are also taking place across different spaces in this summit as well.
Now, one of those is the cyber security drill simulation. The reason why I'm excited about this is because it allows you to see what a national cyber attack would actually look like and what we're able to do to ensure we ensure that we can take care of it as a nation and even as a continent.
We also spoke about talent.
Yes, we did.
Top talent. We have them in various rooms here. The creme de la creme when it comes to universities and what they can do when it comes to tech. We're actually having a cyber security contest happening as we speak, and we're bringing together the best as far as Kenya universities are concerned. They're having a virtual capture the flag challenge that is taking place all throughout the day today.
And trust me, that is something we're going to try. Let's see how good you and I and Liz are actually going to be at.
I'm not betting on this one. I'm not putting my money on this one.
Oh, but we must.
But we'll see.
We really must.
We definitely will see.
Away from that, of course, there's a series of visits and site visits that are showcasing real-world digital infrastructure and innovation. And our ministers and some of our partners have actually been there. It's happening in Mukuru kwa Jenga, it's happening in Konza Smart City, and it's also happening at Safaricom and near Fiber.
Absolutely, and of course, we also spoke about innovation, and innovation is going to be a key pillar of our discussions this entire week. We do have an innovation bootcamp nurturing the next generation of African tech leaders. That also happening today, throughout the day as well.
Perfect. Now, for us to be able to understand how we're having this conversation today, would like to set the scene. Today, would like to welcome someone who will show us what kind of conversations are we going to have from today and next 4 days.
Okay, so let's please put our hands together and welcome Secretary for ICT, E-Government and Digital Economy, Ms. Mary Kerema, OGW, as she comes to set the stage and the scene for the next 4 days. Round of applause for her, please.
Okay. Allow me to ride on the protocols already observed. And good afternoon. Is it afternoon? It's still morning. Good morning. Good morning. We sound very dull. I hope after this you'll be excited to go through our programs. Within a few minutes, I'm going to take you through what we are expecting for the next 4 days. So I want to set the pace, or to set the scene. Yes, next slide, please. So why connected Africa, and why now? For too long, Africa's digital story has been told in fragments. 54 markets, 54 policies, 54 approaches. But today, the world we are entering does not reward fragmentations. It rewards a scale, coordination, and clarity of direction. So therefore, that is why we are here, and this moment for the next 4 days matters for Africa. So this summit is not about applications, is not about platforms, is not about tools. It is about power. And therefore, we need to ask ourselves candid questions. If the issue is power, so the strategic question we need to ask ourselves, who defines the rules of the digital economy? The architecture question is, who owns the infrastructure? Sorry. Okay? So the delivery question we need to ask, who controls the data? And lastly, the value question is, ultimately, who benefits? So is it you? Is it me? So in the 4 days, we are going to answer these questions, and they are going to lead our conversations. And therefore, we are saying, if Africa does not answer these questions for itself, these answers will be defined for us. And it will be defined by others. And when others define you, they don't know you. So they will define you as they see you, rather than yourself defining yourself. So the summit will be in 4 days, and this summit will have conversations, but not fragmented conversations. There'll be conversations that are interconnected. In the first day, today, we are going to talk about trust and sovereignty. And this is really the foundations of our digital economy. And it's also setting the foundation of our summit, where we'll talk about cybersecurity in Africa and contextualize it to Africa. We'll talk about data protection and cross-border flows. We'll talk about digital sovereignty, a continental view. And lastly, we'll talk about trust frameworks for the digital trade. And we are saying trust is equal to currency of this digital age. So therefore, if there is no trust, there is no digital economy. Sovereignty is our signature. So if we don't have this signature, then we'll have no ownership of our future. So therefore, sovereignty, very key for us. The second day, we are going to have a discourse around infrastructure and DPI, the digital public infrastructure for Africa. We are going to have a discourse around artificial intelligence, AI, and I always say it is amplified intelligence and emerging technologies. We are going to look at our continental ambition. What are the opportunities and what are the guardrails that we need to put in place? We are going to have discussion around the government enterprise architecture and the government interoperability frameworks that define how government deploys systems. And therefore, you cannot leapfrog on soft ground. We need infrastructure, which is the bedrock. DPR is the blueprint for the digital services that are delivered to the citizens. The third day, we are going to have data and trade, where we are talking about Africa data space, the architecture, the data economy, and the AFC FTA, and these are the cross-border discourse that is going on. Then the cross-border digital trade in practice. We are going to have ministerial roundtables on digital trade, and we are also going to have platforms, payments, and the cross-border financial discussions that are also going on. So we are saying data is the new soil of Africa's economy. With no data, there is no intelligence. Without trade, there is no prosperity to share. So therefore, we need to have a discourse and a deliberate one around the cross-border trade, because therein lies the shared prosperity. The fourth day we are going to have skills and the future. And on top of that is also inclusivity. So we'll have digital skills, we have discussions around inclusivity, discussions around innovation, startups, and investment. And lastly, the future of workforce in a digital Africa. Today, jobs are not found in the offices. Jobs are officeless. So wherever you are, we want to have a discourse how our populace will earn wherever they are. And so therefore we are saying, without skills, there is no pipeline. And without a future, there is no reason to build today. So if we have a reason to build today, the future is for us. And we want to say that it is not only the discussions that we are going to have, we are going beyond the plenaries. We are going beyond the breakaway sessions. So we'll have the ministerial tracks where we'll have closed doors for our decision makers to really have candid deliberation and ask the difficult questions. But at the end of that, they're gonna get an answer. And these answers will go down to the 2026 declaration. Africa, Connected Africa Summit 2026 declaration. The next, we'll have launches that will be done here. We'll have announcements that will be made. And key to these launches is the government enterprise architecture and the interoperability framework that is going to really define how Kenya, the government of Kenya, deploys digital transformation and digital solutions. We'll have breakaways for the women in digital, where we'll have plenaries where we'll recognize the women in Africa who have really shaped the digital economy. We'll have exhibitions where government, the industry, the startups, the innovators are going to showcase their products. We'll have inbound trade missions where we'll be able to curate the business to business and business to government meetings where deals will be signed. So make sure you don't leave Connected Africa 2026 without a deal. That's a bet, and I'll take stock after the 4th day if you have really made a deal. And lastly, today there were field visits which have already been announced. There were people who are going to Konza. We've already visited the Mkuru Wanzenga, where we have the affordable housing and the digital hubs. So there will be programs running in parallel from today up to the 4th day. So make sure you can have the best of what we have for you. Sorry, I keep forgetting to flash this. Okay, so we are saying today that what this week we must achieve so that we can have something to talk about for the Connected Africa Summit 2026. We should have clarity on Africa's position on AI, data, and digital sovereignty. We should have stronger alignment on digital public infrastructure and interoperability. We should be able to live with practical pathways to unlock the cross-border digital trade. And lastly, and most importantly, we must live with commitments that outlive this room. We have been saying that we've been having conferences, meetings, but it is time for action. So therefore, let this summit mark our starting for action. So I want to close by saying that we need to carry forward the spirit of Umuntu, Gumuntu, and Gabantu. And this really reminds us that no nation rises alone, no innovation thrives in isolation, and no digital future can be built without people at its center. And for inclusion, we are saying Africa must build its digital future that is inclusive, people-centered, and anchored in shared progress. Progress without people is hollow. And lastly, we are saying our strength, in the end, our strength will not be measured by how far we advance individually, but by how intentionally we rise together. And therefore, digital transformation is a leadership responsibility. And all of us seated here are leaders. Therefore, let's all take the mantle and lead the digital transformation of our nations. Our progress is collective. Our strength is shared. Our destiny is interconnected. Thank you very much, and I wish you a fruitful, Connected Africa 2026, 4 days to come. And let it make a mark in your life. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Madam Kerma, please.
Mm-hmm.
Really setting the stage for the discussion will be.
What?
There we go. For the next 4 days, some critical questions that need to be answered who owns the infrastructure, who owns the data, and how do we benefit from it? Who's really benefiting from that? Key questions that by day 4 should be answered right here. So before we move forward, I want us to do a quick game because we've had a lot from this side, but I'd like to get a sense of the room as well.
Absolutely.
Cynthia. And this game called Put a Finger Down. So what we'll do at this point is raise one hand, want your 5 fingers up. Okay,
don't
I'm actually
worry.
waiting for your hands to go up.
We're going to show you how
This
to
isn't
do
a
it.
virtual exercise, it's as practical as it gets.
We're going to show you how to do it.
So anytime I'll ask a question, if that has happened to you, you shall put a finger down. Just to understand where we are in the room, context setting. So put a finger down if you've ever announced a bold initiative, because these summits have very bold initiatives. You said it, you're ready to do it, and then later struggled on fully implementing it once you're back in the office. I can see 2 fingers down. You know,
We're not judging, guys. Nobody's judging you. We're just being honest.
Okay. Put a finger down if you believe alignment is Africa's biggest opportunity. Okay. Definitely in the right space. Put a finger down if you've sat in a room like this before and thought, this time we have to do things differently, surely. We just have to. I can see many fingers have gone down on that one, eh? And that's why we're here. You heard Ms. Karema said we're doing things differently. And finally, put a finger down if you're here not just to talk, but to leave the room with one decision you'll actually act upon once you're back in our offices. All fingers are down? Then you're definitely in the right room. A round of applause for yourselves. Now we know, after all is said and done, as they say, much more has to be done than said. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Now, ideally in the program, we should be doing a coffee break, but we're going to move it a little faster because we should be having a panel discussion right now. So that is what we're going to prepare for. Very, very quickly, our panel discussion. If you go through your notes in our program, so we're able to move a little bit with our time, a little faster. So if you can just be able to go to your programs and see who is going up next, so that we're able to introduce all our panelists and, of course, our moderators for this particular session. Again, it's going to be fast, it's going to be fun, and want to ensure that every single person who is present here is involved the way they should. Now, I don't know whether we've been sat for a little too long. Do you want to do a little bit of like a stretch, like a health break? Do you want to do a health? I'm just looking at you. Do you want to do a health break? Okay, let's get up. Let's do a quick health break.
I can hear yes from this side of the room. He's already up.
Let's do a quick health break.
Right there.
Let's do a quick health break. Everybody on your feet. We're going to do a quick health break. DJ, you're tempting me. Stop tempting me. Stop tempting me. We're going to do the easiest of things. It's a nursery rhyme, I believe we used to do, right? Put your left foot out, put your left foot in, put your left foot out, and you shake it all around. Do the boogie woogie and does anyone know
also learning this along. This is straight improv. So left foot forward.
Yes.
Left foot back.
Yes. Right foot
forward.
I like that you're following me and you're doing your left.
I was following what you were doing.
Okay. So are we all together? We're going to start. Put your right foot out, put your left foot back, put your right foot back, and guys, do as I say, not as I do.
Okay.
Follow
Okay.
Yeah? As I say, not as I do. Right?
So even if you're saying right, but your left leg is the one moving, we should not follow you.
Precisely.
Okay, there. Okay, fine. Now we got it.
Right?
Now we have gotten it.
You're catching up so fast.
Fine.
So we're going to do this, okay? Put your right foot out, put your left foot back, put your left foot... we're together. Put your left...
There's someone here with 2 right feet. I'm not going to name names today, but the 2 right feet on this side.
Okay, we're going to do it really, really fast. Now, put your right foot out, put your left foot back, put your left foot out, and you shake it all around. Do the boogie woogie. Because that's what it's all about. See, I told you there are people in this building who know it. There are people in this building who know it. Okay, put your... Hey.
Now she has problems. That is your right hand.
Okay, fine.
That is your right hand.
No, it's directions. You know how we are with directions. So put my... Guys.
You're right.
Okay, so put your... I can't do these things alone. Put my
Right hand out.
Put my
Left hand out.
Put my left. Thank you. See, they're doing what I'm saying. as
Oh
opposed
my
to
gosh.
doing it.
Okay.
You see, nobody's paying attention, guys. Nobody's paying attention. At all. Nobody's paying attention. Now, one last time. Put your
Right hand out.
Put your and you. That's what it's all about. Now, I would like to bring the master of this with us, who has, I need a roaming mic. You can give me a roaming mic, really, really quick. Is it somewhere?
Well, Cynthia, we did talk about talent.
Yes, we did.
It wasn't restricted to tech. Okay, fine.
We're about to show it off.
Fantastic.
See, I have noticed talent. I'm very good at these things. Your Excellency, if you may. Thank you very much. Join me on stage. We're going to do this with you, yeah?
I can guarantee you on the LinkedIn post he had for today, dancing was not what was going to be put there.
No,
but here we are.
Not. Okay. So, you know the song? Yes. Okay, sharp. Where's my mic?
Can you have one roaming
There
mic?
we go.
Thank you very much.
So, you want to take us through it?
So you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in, you put your left hand out, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around.
That's what it's all about. Yay! Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for that. So, as we had said, slight change in the agenda. And as we are told, this is what agility is all about. You may have your seats, I believe. We're now awake. Quick announcement before we get to our first keynote address. A couple of vehicles that might need attention. KCJ 529K, that is a Nissan Patrol. KBW 301Y, KBP 075S, and KBU 089N. So once again, KCJ 529K, KBW 301Y, KBP 074S, and KBU 089N. Please proceed to the parking area. You need to remove those vehicles right now. So just in case you didn't hear those vehicles, KCJ 529K, KBW 301Y, KBP 075S, and KBU 089N. Please proceed to the parking area. You need to move those vehicles. So let's move it along with our program, and we want to get into our keynote addresses at this particular point in time. I'd like to call on stage Colonel Dr. James Kimoyo, Director of the National Computer and Cybercrimes Coordination Committee, NC4. Colonel here. A round of applause for Colonel as he comes on stage for his remarks as well. And sorry, as he comes on stage, the summit tradition is you keep clapping until he gets to the podium. So if he likes this applause, it might take a while. Colonel, stage is yours.
Yes, sir. All the protocols observed. I'm not sure how many minutes I have. 3 minutes? 15 minutes? Okay, I'll be very quick. So I just need some induction. Can we have the slides, please? Okay. All right, so I was given a very interesting topic, and I prepared for a presentation for 1 hour, but I've been told I just take 15 minutes, and therefore I will be very quick and very fast. My focus, therefore, was to be able to talk about the war that we are in within the cyberspace. And what you are seeing there are just dictionary definitions, so you don't need to worry about them. War is just a state of armed conflict between states, nations, or organized groups. And down there, we go to the next definition of what a battle is. And they usually say you can lose a battle but win a war. And your focus should be to win the war. Because within a war, you can have a series of battles, and all aimed at achieving the objectives of a war. And
I want to say that one of the difficult wars to be able to fight, or one of the difficult battles to be able to fight. Okay, we have a technicality here because the screen is behind me. Okay, let me stand here. So that means I'll need a mobile microphone, guys. I need to be able to see. Can we sort that? Very good. Okay, this is where I was. In the military, we believe in rehearsals, so it means now we didn't rehearse, but we'll still move very fast. Let me go back again. So I was to deal on the issues of the battles that we are dealing with within the cyberspace, and I will say that war is a big thing that we cannot be able to exhaust its discussion here. But what I was also trying to say is a war will have many battles, and even if you lose one battle, you can still be able to win the war. So let me just go straight, just a little bit of introductions of the type of space that we are dealing with. These are just ordinary statistics that are there. The last official statistics for this country is 2019. I believe the next one should be able to be 2029, and our official population is at 47.6 million. Our median age, as you can be able to see at the end of the bullet number 2, there is 20 years. This one, the PS has already mentioned about it, and it will have a little bit of implication on this discussion that we are having this afternoon. One of the best countries in terms of mobile penetration at almost 139%. Then smartphones alone standing at 83.5. All these are going to be able to define the landscape that we are dealing with when it comes to the cyber warfare that we are dealing with. More statistics, key to point to note there is our social media usage, standing at over 4.5 hours on a daily basis compared to the global average of 2.5. So again, this is going to influence some of the points and the discussions that we are going to have in this discussion. This is a very common statistics. They say globally that cybercrime is the third largest economy behind the United States of America and also the People's Republic of China. I've put a few bullets there in red. So if US and China have the largest economies when it comes to cyber, when it comes, they have the largest economy ahead of cybercrime, then we see that US and China have the two largest militaries. That is to also tell you by inference that cybercrime has the third largest military globally. And if cybercrime therefore has the third largest military globally, then this is the war that we are fighting both as governments, industry, private sector, academia, and also the public. So there are enough resources within the cybercrime domain or within the cybercrime space to be able for them to invest in people, to invest in technology, to invest in tools, to invest in processes. All this with the objective to ensure that they are able to probe and also compromise some of the critical information infrastructure that we have around Kenya and also within the region. I've just brought this slide to show you some of the domains of warfare. From the traditional land where kings will fight one another just to expand their territories and their kingdoms, getting into the waters where trade and movement was more of course the maritime now is one of the issues that has hit global headlines within the ongoing conflict, which I don't want to mention so much. We got into the air. We realized that air is a good avenue to be able to fight. People went to space. Just the other day, the Americans were in the space trying to see if before the end of this decade we can be able to land in the moon. But my interest there is the development of cyberspace as the new frontier of warfare. And this is one of the areas that is coming up thick and fast, and we need to be able to prepare both as a country and as a continent to be able to take charge of this space. Now, I brought a few things here because I'm supposed to deal with the warfare. A good army, for it to be able to fight a physical war. When I say a physical war, is the normal war where we use the normal militaries, that is land, maritime, and air. We'll need three key components: that the physical component, the moral component, and the conceptual component. And these are the very things now we want to be able to project within the cyberspace and be able to see now, can the same components therefore apply when it comes to war within the cyberspace. I have two sets of PowerPoint slides here, of two sets of points here that I've just projected, just to show you the principle of ordinary war. When I say ordinary, this is war that is within the physical domain, and also what we call the functions of combat. Now the question is here, can again these principles of war and these functions of combat, can they be applicable within the cyber domain as an area of warfare? Now let me now come to what I was supposed to do, to be dealing with. That is the battle or the war within the cyberspace. There are four things that are critical here within a good doctrine when it comes to matters of warfare. Number one is to be able to understand or to define the cyberspace. We want to know what type of terrain are we operating in when it comes to the war within the cyberspace. Number two is to be able to describe the effects that we want to achieve. And the effects can be many. Physically, you want to strike. Physically, you want to fix. Physically, you want to be able to identify. Physically, you want to be able to defeat. Physically, you want to be able to stop enemy advance and all that. But within the cyberspace, we still have effects that we also need to be able to achieve. Number three is to be able to identify the threats and also evaluate them, because not all the threats will have the same magnitude of impact. Then three is to be able to identify, therefore, what we call the causes of action, and which may be the most appropriate for the given scenario that is at hand. And all these are adopted from what we have, we call the Kenya Cyber Defense Manual, and among other documents that are available within the public domain. Now let's move to what we call the phase number one of cyber warfare. That is being able to define the cyber or the battle space. Because if you do not know the space that you are fighting, then you will not be able to conquer. Remember, the battle space favors both the enemy and also the friendly forces. So if you are fighting in the mountainous area, for example, those mountainous areas will be both favorable and also disfavorable for both parties. If you are fighting within a desert domain, then that desert domain and environment will also be still working for or against both the enemy and also the friendly forces. If you are fighting within the what we call a jungle environment or a forested environment, the same. If you're fighting within what we call OBUA, that is operations within built-up environment, that is within the urban setup, the same operational environment will also be favoring both those who are fighting against and those who are fighting for. So within the cyber warfare environment, it is also very critical to be able for us as government, private sector, academia, and also industry to be able to understand and to define the battle space. So here we must be able to consider what are the threats, consider the terrain that you are dealing with, because you cannot be able to defend what you have not mapped. Then we move forward to continue understanding our terrain. As you can be able to see there, this is some of the figures that we have, and these are again open, available within the open source domain. Across Africa, more than 670 million plus users. Projected economy within the 2026, 2027, in terms of US dollars, 180 billion, all the way up to the number of mobile money transactions that we have today, more than 100 million transactions. So this terrain, therefore, provides what we may call a very unique and a very, what we may call porous environment for would-be adversary to be able to attack or to be able to perpetrate their would-be actions, or there will be objectives within the cyber environment. Again, as you can be able to see, as the latest report, we have the KESAT reports that are usually published on a quarterly basis from September, October, November. So these are the numbers. Again, I will not dwell on them. Okay. So these are the numbers, as you can be able to see, almost 4.6 billion in terms of the threats that the sensors are able to pick. And this now means that the type of defenses that we need to put in place then must be able to be commensurate to the type of threats and the numbers that we are able to receive within our systems. Okay. So step number 2 within the intelligence preparation of the battle space, that is understanding the cyberspace, is the description of the effects. Having now understood the type of environment that we are dealing with, then the next question is, what effects do we therefore want to be able to achieve? And this will be able to shape exactly how we are able now to respond. Some of the effects, just to mention, so that we be able to save on time. We need to check what will be the asymmetry in terms of speed, in terms of reach, in terms of visibility, and also in terms of the capital. Remember, effects here, we are just transferring what is there within the physical domain and trying to apply it within the cyberspace domain. Are you able, therefore, to see what is coming? And if you see what is coming, are you able to evaluate it? And if you evaluate what you have seen, then what type of response do you need, therefore, to be able to put in place so that you can be able to stop that enemy or that attacker from being able to, stopping him from being able to achieve their objectives. The number or stage number 3 is therefore now to evaluate that threat, because it is not every threat that needs response, and it is not every threat that will require the same amount or the same magnitude of response. Remember, the resources available to be able to respond to some of these threats are scarce or they are limited, and therefore and sometimes the threats can be diverse. The threats can be coming from all corners. They can be flanking from all directions, and therefore being able to apply or to evaluate is key to the type of response that you apply against what you are able to see within the cyberspace. Just a minute. Okay, these are some of the enemies or some of the threat categories that we needed to contend with. Allow me not to dwell on them. Of course, their diverse impact. I want to go to number 4. Yes, number 4 now is to determine what we are calling the various causes of actions. Having now gone through the entire process up to the evaluation of those threats then you need to be able to evaluate and determine the course of action that you need to take, considering the resources that you have and the type of threat, and it's the type of threat that you are facing. So doctrinally, for you now to be able to respond, we have what we may call a layered approach, all the way from the human capital, trying to look at the threat intelligence, operation defense coordination, all the way up to the governance and what need to be done at each and every of those levels. So looking at all this in the military or within the cyber defense capability, we have what we call the OODA loop. OODA loop is your ability to observe, orient yourself, make a decision, and take action. So the faster your OODA loop is vis-a-vis your enemy, then the better your chances of success, because immediately your enemy gets into what we call the inner cycle. That means he's able to observe, he's able to orient, he's able to decide, and he's able to act faster than you are able. Then you face imminent defeat. I know my time is up. Let me just go to the conclusion. So in conclusion, I believe that this forum provides us an opportunity to be able to discuss the real war that we are facing. And the good news with this war is you don't need to be in uniform. You don't need to understand how an AK-47 works. You don't need to have gone to a rifle range for you to be able to be a soldier against this great war. So African cybercrime battlefield is real. It is hot. It is tough. It is dangerous. We need a strong army that spans across government, industry, private sector, academia, among many others. We are saying that here, every soldier, and I've put the word soldier there in quotes, so that you don't get yourself out. You don't need to have gone to recruit training school or cadet training school for you to be a soldier when it comes to the matters of cyber defense. And individual counts, and therefore we need both the numbers, the capabilities, the capacities. I'm repeating myself, the trainings, the technologies, and the financial investment to be able to successfully prosecute and win this battle within the cyberspace. With those few remarks, allow me to conclude this there. Thank you. God bless you.
A round of applause for Colonel Dr. James Kimu. I will tell you for a fact, for someone who's gone through phishing, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But I thank my order team was present, and they helped me figure out my accounts, especially my digital and my bank accounts. It was a nightmare. But I thank God we have a solid team that helps us through that. Now, if you'll walk out the stage, thank you very, very much. A round of applause as he steps away. Thank you very, very much, Colonel. I appreciate it ever so much. On stage, I'd like to welcome David Bunay. He is the Managing Director, Oracle Kenya, and Cloud Systems Leader, East, West, South Africa. Kindly, if you join us on stage. And of course, it's going to be about 15 minutes. We're going to try very much to keep it within that time frame, or I'll walk slowly towards you. Thank you very much.
So to the PS, Ministry of ICT and Innovation, to the Chair of the Board, as well as the CEO of ICT Authority, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning, or good afternoon now. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We need to be more excited. This is, cybersecurity is the most exciting space that all of us should be aware and not to slip through the presentations. So I've been given this session, just a keynote, a couple of minutes, but I do know that we have an opportunity to, interact post these sessions, and I want to invite all of you to join. Some of you who would want to be more discussion in our, we've got our sessions or a meeting room that we can use across this plenary, and I think we can be able to have a much more in-depth discussion. But with the few minutes that I have, I just wanted to share a couple of things because we're all a part of the industry. Oracle is part of the technology industry. We've been here over almost 20 years plus in Kenya and the region. We've been present globally over 48 years in terms of being a technology company. So few companies actually survive through that technological leap that happens every now and then. And we're absolutely excited to partner with government, to partner with private sector, and to continue working together in terms of delivering solutions for our customers as well as with government. In order to, let me start with that. It's one of our slides that we must show so that everything I say must be probably, I will not promise that I will deliver, but we promise that we'll do our best, right? I want to share this one slide because I think for me, this is the most exciting slide that we have today as Oracle, because there is obviously a massive investment happening around the world on cloud and cloud technology. We're extremely happy and honored to have investment coming into Kenya, and soon we'll have our launch in Kenya. This is a second country after South Africa, and there's also Morocco in Africa, and a couple of others that will come into the future. And the reason I say this is that in order to make an investment in data centers, it means that customers that will have to trust you, and it starts with trust. Building data centers is a massive investment, and that has a huge capital outlay. And one of the most important, really important action or important item that you need to consider is, are customers going to trust to host data in your data center? And that means that you have to have a really strong security around the customer data, so that as they trust you to move their data from their own environment to your own data center, you will be able to guarantee that that data will not be, accessed by anyone, especially in a multi-tenant environment where data centers, you have multiple tenants being hosted in your data center. So if I share this, maybe I can have from the picture we have here, I want you to see the investment that we're making in data centers across the world touches every country or every region around the globe. And the reason to this is data is pervasive, obviously, and cuts across every region, cuts every country, and every industry. There is need for countries to have specific data being secured for their own sovereign reasons. And we're among the few cloud companies that actually we have built what we call sovereign data centers. For example, the EU region had to insist on their own data centers that they can access within the EU countries and have secure data that is available to their citizens of the EU community. Now, as we talk about Africa, 54 countries, we will not be able to build data centers in every country that is present in Africa. We will have to make a decision, probably east, west, south, north, and those data centers then will have to host this critical data that potentially are for different countries or different entities around Africa. The only single link that assures all these countries and everybody around Africa is security. We will have to guarantee them, as we even invest in data centers, as we invest in data sovereignty and securing, trust among partners, let's say East Africa community, Southern Africa community, AFTA. What will make or break that partnership and is the trust around data and how data is handled. And so as Oracle, with almost since 1970s, our DNA has been on data security. Our history as Oracle comes out of an innovation that we were requested by a government at the time to build a secure data platform to be able to manage huge amount of data. We've built on that innovation over the last decades to ensure that industry by industry, government by government, different governments, different solution providers are able to trust that when they use an Oracle database or Oracle infrastructure, that data is secure. We've evolved from database into applications, into cloud now. And our massive investment in cloud is a demonstration that we will guarantee our customers and our governments that we will hold their data securely, and we'll guarantee them that what we do the security in their own data centers, we're moving that data into our own data centers and guarantee that we'll provide better availability, better performance, but even better security. And that's an important conversation that we all have to accept. As I said, trust is a single point that we all have to accept in terms as we have this discussion. Our history as Oracle, we've worked with partners across different industries. In the previous slide, probably I didn't point out that we partner with Microsoft, we partner with Google, we partner with AWS and many other cloud providers so that data can move from one data center to the other. So as we evolve in terms of the discussion, if we even imagine that we're going to build data centers across Africa, we're going to have the ability to have that data to transit different regions, different countries securely, and people trust that that data is secure and that data's integrity is secure. As we look at those journeys, let's look at also industries. Our customers span across different industries: healthcare, defense, government, energy, transportation. And each of these have unique requirements. Each has different data requirements, the data levels of data security. In the US, for example, healthcare data is absolutely required to have the certification of HIPAA, which is an industry-wide standard for managing and curating healthcare data. In financial industry, we also have to comply with that. So what I'm trying to point out to you is, in order for any trust to be achieved, you got to be able to work across industry, across the partnerships that we have with governments. We work in Kenya with the Office of Data Protection Office, and they guide us in terms of how do we manage and curate data for customers and for governments in the region. So this is an important consideration as we evolve into this new era of data. Security is not going to be earned, and trust is not going to be earned in one day. It's a journey. And it's not a point product that we invest in order to fix a problem. We have to literally understand that it's a multi-layered approach. It's a continuum. As some speakers who have mentioned before, we have to think through the multi-layer approach, like the defense that he talked about, the Colonel talked about. In a similar way, and I know there are many technical speakers who will speak shortly, we have to think through this security and cybersecurity from the perspective of continuum and from the perspective that we need to think through an approach that addresses each and every space with leaving no gap. In our own experience, part of what we do is to ensure that as we move our customers' data into cloud, we're able to identify, authenticate that data, and give them the same access as they were in their own office, in their own data centers, that they host their own data. We are able to authorize that in a seamless manner, regardless whether it's in our cloud or in their own private environment, and ensuring that data is encrypted using the highest standards of encryption, depending on the industry and depending on the requirements of our customers, and as well as provide the visibility that they need. But all that, as one of the speakers mentioned, I think the PS mentioned about, is the foundation. The foundation in terms of the infrastructure layer going up needs to be absolutely secure as you build on those multi-layer, whether into application level or other areas of the technology. So why do customers and why do governments trust us? We do have that decades of experience in partnership, in protecting data. And we do think that we continue to be world's trusted technology company, because when we lose that trust, regardless of the 40 years plus of our partnership across the world, we will not exist as a company. And we take security seriously. We do partner across, as I say, different industries. Requirements vary by industry, and we do think that we are able to be adaptable. As I said, security should be built in, not as an add-on. And I know a lot of the technical speakers will speak about this in the next sessions. And as I conclude around this one, integrated security is critical, because once you have one single unified integrated security, you can have visibility in the different layers rather than having a point visibility, and the reaction of that incident is better managed when you have a full visibility across. I want to, as I conclude, this is an important one, because a lot of governments in Africa are considering moving their data into data centers. It's going to be a huge undertaking. First, the fact that a lot of data today are hosted by individual departments, individual ministry agencies. As they consolidate that data, and we all know the reasons why this has to happen, we have to think about what are the areas to explore or learn. For example, what happened in the EU case, it was very specific. They need to make sure that data is available across all their regions, across for all the citizens of the EU, but that data must have separation, because these are different countries with different requirements and different demands in terms of what they do every day. And there has to be full encryption of data. And that data needs to be visible to only those who need to access it, whether in a multi-tenant environment or in a converged structure. At a high level, localization, isolation, access management, asset ownership, which is also complex, operational support, and of course the regulatory across has to be one of the consideration. This has to be an in-depth conversation. As I said, it's going to be extremely difficult to build data centers in every country.